Hey Glam fam, welcome back. Today we're getting into part 2 of this reunion. So we pick up in the middle of Candiace versus Gizelle, and Candiace is basically asking Gizelle, what exactly did Chris do to make you feel uncomfortable? Like, please tell me exactly what he did. Gizelle really can't answer it. So instead, she decides to say that they're playing on semantics and that Candiace made the situation bigger than what it was. How? How did Candiace make the situation bigger when anytime somebody brought an accusation her way, she shut it down? How did she make it bigger than what it was? She didn't even want to hear it. Gizelle's the one who brought it to Candiace. And I get Gizelle feeling uncomfortable. I get that maybe she felt a little uncomfortable along with Chris, especially being that y'all remember that game that they played last season or Mia's first season or whatever. I can't remember what season, but they were asking which lady in the group that their husband had a crush on. And Candiace said that Chris had a crush on Gizelle, like a mini crush, like he liked to cook for her and all of that stuff. And I'm sure it was harmless, like the Nene and Peter thing, but being that that was said, I get how Gizelle could have been uncomfortable. And I think that Candiace understood that too. So when Mia tried to chime in and Candiace told her to shut up, I died laughing. Because the issue isn't that Candiace doesn't understand how she felt uncomfortable. The issue is that Gizelle waited until the cameras came on months later to even bring it up. Which Candiace should not be surprised about because she's the one who went on live a few seasons ago and told everybody about the plot that they had about Monique. So you know that they be plotting. And you saw what they did to Wendy last season with the Eddie cheating rumors. So maybe you just thought it would never happen to you? I don't know. So, you know, as they're still going back and forth about that, Gizelle said something that I wish they really would have responded to. But they didn't really acknowledge it. So she said, Mia said something about, why can't you just acknowledge that your husband acted inappropriately with Gizelle or something? Gizelle corrected her and she was like, he didn't do anything inappropriate. I just felt uncomfortable.
What's wrong with just acknowledging that your friend felt like she was being treated inappropriately by your husband?
No, it wasn't inappropriate. I was uncomfortable.
And I wish they would have paid attention to that, because if you're admitting that Chris didn't do anything wrong, he actually didn't do anything, and this was you all in your head feeling uncomfortable, what does he need to apologize for? You just admitted that he didn't actually do anything, and this was you and your feelings. So then they move on to Robin and Candiace and that live that Candiace did while they were in Miami, talking about the ladies, and Robin had ended up playing it on a speaker at dinner or something. Yeah, so they start talking about that live. And actually what they didn't show is the one who was so bothered by this live actually received the most compliments. So Robin did all of that, and Candiace said nothing but nice things about her in the live the whole time. Candiace tells her she didn't like how she did that on camera. And then Robin clearly got all the jokes today, because then she says, well, we're on camera. We should share our lives on camera because we're on camera. Oh, really? After she said that, production flash forwarded to Robin addressing the Juan situation, the cheating situation. You know, the situation that she kept off camera? Yeah, that situation. Every time Robin said something, production had a receipt immediately afterwards to make her look crazy. So then Wendy confronts Candiace because Candiace said that Robin is the most loyal friend to her. And I guess after she said that to Wendy, Robin did the thing with the speakers. So, girl, the joke's on you. You played yourself. And Wendy is the most loyal to her. I don't know why she feels like Robin is. I get it. You know, we don't know what type of relationships they have off camera. But Robin is loyal to nobody but Gizelle. I don't know how Candiace felt like she was her biggest ally on the show. Karen is more of an ally to Candiace than Robin is. And I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but besides when Mia assaulted Wendy, other than that, I don't really feel like Candiace has Wendy's back. Definitely not the way Wendy be having Candiace's back. And that comment proved it, because how is Robin the most loyal? Then they start talking about Gizelle and her hysterectomy. She didn't really want to get into it. You know, she started getting emotional talking about it. This is how you know Gizelle is getting too comfortable. Because Andy asked you a question on the reunion, and you think that you are able to say, we'll talk about it later. Excuse me? So she's explaining the story, right? And she catches herself getting emotional, showing the vulnerable side. And she stops herself and is like, no, actually, we'll talk about it later. And Andy goes, no, we're going to talk about it now.
We'll talk about it later.
No, we're talking about it now.
I know that's right! I know that's right!
So she starts talking about how it was hard for her daughters, basically because, first of all, it was only supposed to be a 3.5-hour surgery and it turned into an 8.5-hour surgery. That is crazy. Then on top of that, her daughters were getting updates every hour throughout the surgery, and then randomly they just stopped getting updates. Of course, they're thinking something is going wrong. And then on top of that, Gizelle wasn't supposed to stay the night, but being that the surgery took so long, she ended up having to stay the night. So from the daughter's perspective, you not getting no more updates. Now she's spending the night. She wasn't supposed to. This surgery is more than double the time it was supposed to be. Of course, they were freaking out. I understand that. That's scary. And basically, they thought Gizelle was no longer here. So, yeah. If Gizelle was more open about this type of stuff, you know, the viewers may maybe have a little more empathy for her. But knowing that Gizelle is a Virgo, we don't like being vulnerable. So I get that. We don't like being vulnerable, and we really don't care about people's pity. So honestly, I think she knows that the viewers want to see more of her, but I just don't think that she cares enough to humanize herself for you guys, to be honest. And then on top of that, she knows that the ladies are going to throw all of this stuff in her face. Like the moment they found out about the hysterectomy, Candiace made the dwindling uterus comment. So maybe that's why she don't tell them stuff, but at the same time, that's her own fault, because if you just minded your business, people wouldn't want to attack you. So that's pretty much what Andy tells her. Like, you know, you should open up more to the viewers and stuff like that. Gizelle feels like she's vulnerable on camera and it's just not shown. Okay, girl. Whatever you say. And she also brings up she's not gonna tell her business to women she doesn't like, which is understandable, but you expect them to tell you their business. So it's like, it's not fair. You can't be demanding everybody tell you their business, but then you think you about to keep your entire life to yourself. So then we move on to the Miami trip between Mia and Wendy, and I just feel like this was so long ago. So Andy asked Mia to explain her relationship with Peter. She said that Peter is pretty much Gordon's friend, and that's it. And she messed with one of Peter's old girlfriends. So she's pretty much saying that like she doesn't have a relationship with Peter. But if that's the case, why did you insert yourself into Wendy and Peter's situation? If you don't really know him like that, you was talking like this is your homeboy, like this is the ace boom coon, like this is your day one. That's how she was making it seem. Then Andy asked her why she threw the drink because it was completely unnecessary, which it was. Mia said that she had no intentions on arguing with Wendy, but if y'all remember, didn't she have like a whole meeting with, I can't even remember, was it like Gizelle, Jacqueline, and Robin? It was a few ladies she had a meeting with before the dinner, and she was talking about how she was going to confront Wendy. I can't speak today. So then Mia gets mad, and I didn't really understand why she got so upset. Like she got re-upset about the situation all over again and was like, F you, Mia, F you for life, you attacked me, you did this. And yeah, she did all of that. That's why I was confused when you accepted her apology the first time. So it was kind of weird to me how Wendy came back at this reunion randomly mad at Mia all over again. I get still being mad about the situation, but y'all did all of that making up at the end of the season. Like, it's really pointless to come back to the reunion and still be mad like this, in my opinion. Because I didn't think she should have forgave her the first time. They pretty much had to beg her for the apology. She wasn't even sorry. So yeah, I don't know, maybe like when she went back and rewatched it on TV, it kind of just brought everything back up, but I just personally wouldn't have forgiven her the first time because she didn't even seem sorry the first time. So then Andy moves on to Robin and how she was recording the entire situation and saying that Wendy was being antagonistic. So he asked Robin, how is she being antagonistic? Basically, Robin couldn't answer the question. Basically, like she said a whole bunch of nothing. Then they show some unseen footage of Robin telling Wendy to fight her off camera after just saying like she didn't want Wendy to fight her. So Robin is struggling. She knows she caught. So she had to bring Karen's name up. She done deflected, child. And she goes, if anybody should have stepped in, it should have been Karen because she could have de-escalated the situation. Now, Robin was trying to deflect and get the heat off of herself. However, I do agree. Y'all know when I reviewed that episode of Wendy versus Mia, I said I didn't really like how Karen handled the situation because she was kind of kikiing about it, like it was funny. I didn't like how she was egging it on and trying to be funny about it, but when it was Monique and Candiace, she took that as more of like a serious situation. So speaking of Monique and Candiace, Andy then decides to go to Ashley and call Ashley a flip-flopper because he felt like she changed her stance on violence. I disagree. Ashley wrote that statement to save Monique because Candiace was trying to send Monique to jail and ruin her life. So Ashley stepped in and had her back because nobody had Monique's back. The same way she stepped in and was there for Wendy when nobody had her back. I don't feel like Ashley really had a stance in terms of violence. I feel like she was being there for the person who had nobody. She did that with Monique and she did that with Candiace. So I don't consider Ashley a flip-flopper in that situation. The real flip-flopper, though, who was called out next, was actually Gizelle. That's the actual flip-flopper. And Gizelle proved it because she basically said, well, the difference between the Candiace and Monique and the Wendy versus Mia is I don't like Wendy. I don't care that she got attacked. I don't care that she got assaulted. I was only against violence because it was Monique and I didn't like Monique. But now I'm for violence because it's Wendy and I don't like Wendy. That's a flip-flopper. Actually, that's just plain biased. So apparently they felt it necessary to hold a segment regarding colorism, which I just really find funny because if y'all remember the season 5 reunion where it was first brought up and Wendy tried to have the discussion, everybody pretty much shot her down. Now we got to revisit the topic. Interesting. So Candiace decided to take the floor first. Candiace tried, but they should have let Wendy do it. I don't feel like Candiace really knew the right words to say. However, I do like how she first read the definition first, just to make sure everybody was on the same page about what colorism is. That is very important, especially when we just saw what happened with Megan and Mona Leo. So then after everybody pretty much agrees on the definition, she goes into how Candiace is seen as aggressive, but Robin is actually the most aggressive. And I'm so glad she said that because y'all know I've been saying that too. But Robin basically tries to shift it and say, well, isn't that really on the audience? That's not really on us. That's on the audience. So Candiace is trying to explain it. I don't personally feel like she explained it right because she kept using the word emotional. I think she should have used like aggressive, cruel, vile, words like that instead, not emotional. I think Candiace could have worded it a little better. Gizelle definitely noticed that and she kept playing on that emotional word, the semantics that she was just complaining about earlier. That she kept saying, what does colorist have to do with you being emotional? And Candiace wasn't really catching it. Like, stop saying emotional. Like, say something else. I just personally don't think Candiace should have been the one to speak. I would have much rather had Wendy speak. I don't think she explained it right, and that's just my personal opinion. Candiace didn't really hold Gizelle and Robin's feet to the fire. They were able to get out of it. That's why I would have much rather had Wendy do it. But Ashley, on the other hand, actually acknowledged her privilege, which I was so proud to hear. Ashley kind of won me over this season. I'm not gonna lie. I just wasn't here for her divorce storyline. Mia also took accountability. I feel like she was just kind of trying to piggyback off of Ashley, but okay, cool, I guess. And Gizelle and Robin pretty much weaseled their way out of it, which is so unfortunate, especially being that Gizelle has 3 brown-skinned daughters. She may have to learn the hard way. I'm not trying to wish anything on anybody, but her daughters are not going to have the same experiences that she had, so maybe she'll finally, pay attention then. So Jacqueline is next, and she is ready to address everything Mia has been saying about her on social media. And she walked on stage with her receipts. I guess Monique set the trend with the binder. Everybody want to bring receipts now, but nothing will ever top that binder. Jacqueline starts talking about how Mia treats her like she's beneath her, and Mia was pretty much like, no, you were just a little too needy. Like, you were asking me for too much. How is she asking you for too much when you're using her sister as a nanny for your kids and her mother took you in? Andy asked Mia if she's still close with Jacqueline's mom, the one who took care of her. And Mia said no. And Jacqueline said that the entire family is disgusted with Mia after seeing her on TV. And, you know, Jacqueline said that Mia sent a text to the ladies talking about her house is in foreclosure. So Jacqueline's pretty much like, girl, you don't need to be talking about nobody with your business troubles that you got going on right now. I know all about those troubles, by the way. I have these receipts if you want to see them. So Mia was like, well, I have some receipts too. So do you want to go there? And Jacqueline was like, well, do you want to go there? So I guess they're going to go there next week. And we're going to get a battle of the receipts. So yeah, that's where the reunion ends. The preview for next week, they asked Gordon if he's ever had a sexual relationship with any of Mia's friends. And he just said there was no penetration. So Reese is obviously going to be in the next episode. And they keep showing the same old sneak peek with Cherie. She clearly is bringing nothing to the reunion because we've seen this already in the trailer, in the preview, in the sneak peek. Like, how many times they going to show this same old clip of Cherie? And this is who I'm supposed to believe is the real Grand Dame. Then we're going to have Chris confront Gizelle, obviously. And Chris is cursing her out, child. And also the unseen footage between Andy and Robin for Watch What Happens Live. And next week is going to be a 90-minute episode. This reunion is 100% making up for the season. I'm loving this reunion so far. I feel like they have talked about so much and we still have so much to talk about. Andy is not playing with the girls. The Green Eye Bandits are separated. They can't be plotting on the same couch. This is a great reunion. I'm very, very pleased. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about that in the comment section down below. Stay happy, healthy, and all of that good stuff. And I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.